What's up, FPL managers? Welcome back to another stream. Today we're back for part 2 deadline stream of the double game week 26. My name is Mo, this is my channel FPL Inkling, and today we'll be discussing the reaction to this bonanza of double game week 26. The game of Chelsea versus Liverpool has just finished, and what a game it was, full of action. Not a surprise result in my opinion. The surprising fact is the 5th loss for Liverpool at home. Never happened before, so history has been made. So well done to Chelsea for going there and putting up a performance. Before we get into the action and what's gone on during this double game week, my name is Mo, and I'm going to just say, please, if you like what you see and you've watched my videos before and you want to continue watching them, please subscribe to my channel. I have seen around 75% of people who are watching my videos are actually not my subscribers. So if you like what you see and you regularly want to see what I bring in terms of content, please hit the subscribe button. If you like the videos that you see and you especially like this video, click the like button and leave me a comment or any questions that you do have. I've been overwhelmed by the questions that you guys have sent me through Twitter, Instagram, here on YouTube. It's been very overwhelming and I love all your support, and it's been a real treat to hear your opinions and your questions on where I can help you guys out. Thank you once again, and I really appreciate your support. All the kind words are really appreciated, and the feedback, and my aim is to make sure I won't disappoint any of you, and I'll continue making the videos and I'll improve them day in, day out. So as you guys can see, my channel's got a new design, a new layout. If you guys like it, drop us a comment and please subscribe. Let me know how it goes. So just to let you guys know, I've said it before, the bet is still on. I'm on 84 subscribers now, so almost at 20% of the 500 bet that I do have with my friend, because if I do get the 500 subscribers on YouTube by the game week 38, so the end of the season, I will win a PS5. And to be fair, I think I'm pretty much on course. So please, if you guys are new and you like it, or you're existing and you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and let's make this season a success for not only your fantasy team, but my brand new channel, FPL Inkling. So let's not further waste any time. Let's come along and let's carry on with the reaction. So what I'm going to do, we've already discussed part 1 for game week 26. We're now going to discuss the results which are on the bottom right of this screen, which were the games of part 2 of this double game week. So these are the games that happened after my previous reactions stream that I did with you guys. So let's go through the games one by one. I've got a couple of questions that you guys have thrown my way, which I will be answering as we go along. So let's start with some of the talking points of this game week, or the end of this game week. I think personally, I was aiming for about 130 points, as I mentioned to you guys in my last video, but I finished on exactly 100. I'm waiting for no more further bonus points or anything like that. So my score for this double game week was 100 points. Am I satisfied? If I look at the average, I was above average. What else would I say? Am I disappointed? Pretty much. I had high expectations. Harvey Barnes getting injured, Vardy blanking both game weeks. If it wasn't for my defence and my goalkeeper Martinez, I probably would have had a shocker week. Yeah, so personally, I haven't achieved what I aim to achieve, but if I look at it in terms of the kind of overall average and how everyone else has done, it's not been too bad, to be fair, so I'll take that. I mean, I started the week off around just below or around the 1.5 million mark in ranking, and I've just gone up 300,000 spaces, so I'm around 1.2 mil now. So that's a really, really good move in direction in terms of the placings I've been in this game week, or overall in the game itself. So we can go through what's gone well. We can go through the players which I think have performed well over these 2 game weeks. We can talk about the players that I don't think have done too well. Who are your concerns? Do you have any concerns in your teams? Do you want to bring in anyone in your team? Are you willing to take a hit? Have you played your wild card? Let me know what you guys have your questions around. Let me know what's kind of like your game plan, or you guys are not sure and you want to use a chip strategy. I will be bringing out chip strategy videos soon, so I'll go through from like game week 29 to 33 what potential game week strategies there can be and what may be suitable for you. Remember, it's not one size fits all. It is your game, it is your management style, and it's what works for you. So let's take it on a one-to-one basis and let's go through all the avenues or different avenues that may actually be beneficial for you guys in the long run. Because remember, it's the long-term planning which is done in the short term which will make you successful in this game itself. So tell me, how did you guys do? Did you go above the average? Were you guys below the average? Did you guys have any blanks in your team? Who did you have high expectations from and they didn't deliver? For me, Fernandes, 2 0-0 draws, Chelsea and Crystal Palace last night. I don't know who to blame more, the fog, Ollie, the players. They just looked shattered. It was a boring game. It's a bad spectacle. Is this the worst of Fernandes that I've seen so far? I think those 2 game weeks actually proved to me that he's not at his best. Is he overrun? Is he tired? I don't know, because he's not really been rested for even the games that I think he could have been rested in. So, for example, the second leg of the Europa League tie against Benfica, he didn't have to play that game, but he was asked to play. So again, Ollie, I'm not too sure if he needs to exert Fernandes, Rashford, these kind of players in games as those which pretty much can be actually played with the youngsters. So we'll see how it progresses from there. So for me, the surprising result of this week, in my honest opinion, has to be, I'm not even going to say the Chelsea one, because you can't even say it was a shock because they've lost the last 4 games, Liverpool at home. But I'd say, for me, it was Sheffield United beating Aston Villa at home. No disrespect to Sheffield United, they've had a really tough season, so full marks and full numbers to them for their brilliant performance. Aston Villa, without Grealish, are they feeling the heat? When will he be back? I'm not too sure. I think probably in a couple of weeks, around 10th of April, I believe. So let's see how Aston Villa kind of stay on top. I've got Watkins in my team. I'm probably going to get in one of their defenders. I've got Martinez, so I've got no concerns around Martinez himself. But Watkins, will he get the service that he usually gets from Grealish? Will the kind of offensive line continue to push that far forward without Grealish or their main talisman and their captain? So it'd be interesting to see how Aston Villa fare, really. So that was, for me, the surprising result. What about you guys? What did you think that was a surprise for you? Were there anything that actually stood out for you guys? We'll go through a few players that actually I think stood out, and I think will be a kind of good people to keep an eye on for the next couple of weeks as well. So the first question which I got sent through to me was, is it time to actually bring Gareth Bale in? That's a good question, because he had a really good game against Burnley. He played pretty well today against Fulham as well. He had some really good chances in and behind the team. But the question is now, getting Bale in, is he going to be the answer? So let's have a look at Bale's stats and his games that are upcoming. So if we go to Spurs, if we bring up Gareth Bale. So he's owned by around 1.3% of the managers at the moment. His price has fallen to 9.3 as it started at 9.5 mil. So let's look at his last 4 game weeks, as you guys can see. In terms of returns, he's got 2 assists and 2 goals. So he's got 4 returns. And overall, barring the 119 points, he's actually got 5, 7, 19, 26 points in 4 weeks. Now, if you took out the Burnley game, it's only 7 points in 3 games. And again, for me, the underlying stat which you guys should look at is look at the number of minutes he's played. So 18, 45, 69 and 66. Is that enough to warrant a player who's 9.5 million in your team? There's a concern of whether he's going to be playing week in, week out. With the Europa League coming thick and fast, other cup games, the League Cup final. Is Gareth Bale the answer? I'm not too sure. For me, no, not just yet. But if I can see him getting more minutes under his belt, being a regular, having the same number of returns per the minutes he plays, he's an automatic selection. So I'll give you an example. You've got Gareth Bale at 9.3 mil, and you've got roughly, I think Rashford's around the same price. Who would you prefer more in terms of minutes? I mean, Rashford has got goals and assists over the course of the season. So is it actually worth the fact that you buy Bale rather than Rashford? Well, let's say Riyad Mahrez is slightly cheaper than Gareth Bale. If you look at his returns, I know he's Pep's roulette player. He will be paying every week. But again, that's the same as Bale's situation at the moment. So who's more likely to score more and have an impactful kind of influence on a game or get you the points in terms of fantasy football? So again, it's something to think about, something to weigh out. If it works for you and you want to take a punt, by all means do. But if it's something that you're not willing to take a risk just yet, I would just hold on for a couple more weeks to see how he is feeling. Because if he can increase his minutes, so I think from the 69, 66 to around 80, 85 minutes, week in, week out, with the same returns for the price you're paying for him, I think he'll be a good person or a good shout to have in your team. But as a player at the moment, for me, he's not the answer to people's prayers in terms of fantasy football. So for me, Gareth Bale, he's not a must at the moment. I know he may be a differential, but you got Son at 9.2 in my team, so I think he's gone up in price since I brought him. So at the moment, Son, 9.5, so he's just 0.2 mil extra. I'd rather have Son, which I do have in my team at present, than Gareth Bale himself. So that's my opinion on that question. Let me know if it's any different. Let me know if you did have him in your team, how much of a ranking booster did he give you? Because I'm certain, there's 19 points in just one game. He was one of the main players in the Star Dream Week this week. So there's no De Bruyne, there's no Gundogan, there's no Fernandes. Son was in there, so I had one player. So that was my, let's say, lucky charm for this game week alone. Let's move forward to the next question. So I've got Jota as a replacement for Harvey Barnes. Now, Jota made his comeback tonight against Chelsea. Well, he's done all right, actually, to be fair. I thought he was quite lively, in and around the box, looking sharp. He did come on for Salah. For me, that was a huge shock. Salah wasn't too happy coming off, to be fair. And Salah managers, how are you feeling? 12.5 million player, 12.6 million you guys are paying for him. He just played an hour. Is that justified? You've got a player who's probably the most expensive, I think the most expensive in this game, and he's just come off after 66 minutes. And he was shaking his head, and he wasn't in good spirits, to be fair. I think Mane played pretty much the same in terms of his returns in this game, or the way he was playing on the pitch. And I'm surprised he stayed on. So if you look at Salah, 12.6 mil, he's owned by 40.9% of the managers of FPL. So let's look at his last couple of game weeks. So let's go 5 game weeks. So go back to Brighton. So he's played all the 90 minutes in the previous games, barring this game, which was 61 minutes. He's accumulated to 14, 16, plus 5, 21, 23 points over 5 games, which is not bad. And his returns have been 2 goals. Now, if you put that to the early part of the season, before that 7-0 win against Crystal Palace, since then, Salah, in terms of his contribution, so that is from game week 14 to 20. So the last 12 game weeks, this is a player we have paid 12.6 mil or around 12.5 mil if you got him in earlier of the year. So he has had, in terms of assists, 0. And in terms of goals, he has given you 2, 3, 4. So there you go. So from game week 14 to 12 games, so that's practically a quarter of the season. So you've had this player for a quarter of the season. He's given you 4 goals and no assists. He was absolutely phenomenal before and during the Crystal Palace game where he came on as a sub. But since then, I don't know what's happened. This guy was my go-to guy. He was my captain at the start of the season. He was my captain all the way through last season. But I don't know what's happened. I don't know what's happened to Liverpool. People talk about Van Dijk. Yes, I understand, you've lost your kind of rock at the back. You've lost other defenders. You lost other key players in midfield who are now playing in centre of defence. But again, it comes back to the point that, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. Are you kind of like built to take on the challenges? Because this was one of the key questions last year. If Van Dijk got injured, if Salah got injured, if Mane got injured, Henderson got injured, Firmino got injured, every person had their own impact or kind of like they were the piece of the jigsaw, which made the whole system run smoothly. But this is something's not right now because you got Firmino. Everyone said he had this impact of, linking the team and play between Salah and Mane, and it was working perfectly as a trio. But now that them two aren't firing and him not scoring any more goals than he was actually scoring originally, is this actually affecting Liverpool themselves? So Mo Salah, for me, doesn't look happy. He's not in great form. I don't know what the kind of like background story is with Liverpool, but they've lost 5 games at home. Let's look at their next couple of weeks of game week fixtures. Is it actually worth keeping him in? So he's got Fulham at home on this weekend, and he's got Wolves away the week after. There's no game week for him in game week 29, and he's followed by Arsenal, Villa and Leeds Now, if you'd said to me this before Christmas when they were 5 points clear of any other team on top of the league, I would have said Salah number one choice of captain. However, now I'm not too sure. He could go away and absolutely destroy all 5 of those games. That's the kind of an impactful player he is. But if you're looking to play your wild card, or you're using to use a free hit chip, would it be worth considering kind of just for 1 week taking him out and replacing him with someone like Mason Mount, who's in good form for half the price? So he's about 7 mil. You could bring in someone like Jota, who's coming back fit. He's around 6.6 mil at the moment. So again, it's something worth considering in terms of your chip strategy, if you will check it. My reaction to this one is going to literally be, I would take him out of the squad, simply based on his last couple of performances. But if you've kept him this long and you've trusted him, then don't doubt yourself. Maybe keeping him in might be the right decision, because it's one of those sod's law where you actually take him out and then he goes on some really amazing goal scoring spree and points gaining spree. So it's a weighing in situation. If you've got a plan in mind to keep him, I'd keep him in. If you've got a plan you want to take him out and you want to go with another approach with different players in the midfield who you think are at the moment got better fixtures or they're just in great form, do consider it as well. So that was the Salah answer for me. If I was in that situation, I've already done it a couple of weeks ago, but I certainly would get him rid, and I brought in Kevin De Bruyne. So if that's something you'd like to do, then feel free to go through that way. Next one is going to be, is Chelsea's defence the best defence in the league at the moment? No. The answer is no for that one. It's definitely Man City, but they're not far behind in terms of how they are performing and how they're doing week in, week out. Again, Reece James, I'm absolutely a big fan of him. I think he's a great player for me. He was part of my team before he got injured in the early part of the season, when Frank Lampard was playing him week in, week out. He's owned by 6% of managers, and he had a really good game today against Liverpool. And let's have a look at his next coming games. He's got Everton at home, Leeds, West Brom, Crystal Palace, Brighton. Yeah, so I would definitely consider bringing in some Chelsea defenders. You've got Azpilicueta, who's playing regularly, Ben Chilwell, who's always in the starting lineup. You've got Rudiger, who's 4.6 mil at the moment and who's had some really good game weeks recently since Tuchel's come in. So he's played a lot of games and he's only 4.6 mil, owned by 3.7% of managers. So that might be someone who I might consider adding to my watch list, I was going to say. But yeah, he's someone I'll keep an eye on because he's had a really good game today. And for 4.6 mil in a Chelsea defence, why not with those game weeks coming up? Worth considering. So the answer to the question, they're not the best defence. The best defence is Man City. However, the game weeks they do have coming up, he would definitely be someone I'd consider bringing in. So keep an eye out for any of the Chelsea defenders. And if you can fit him into your squad or bring him in, and you want to free up some funds for any premium defenders like Trent you've got and you want to get rid, or Digne, then these guys are the ones I reckon that'd be a perfect replacement for those defenders. Has Klopp lost his touch? Sorry, I keep looking over to the right. I've got two screens and these have all the questions that I've been sent in from you guys. So has Klopp lost his touch? I don't know. I mean, it's not easy. The guy's lost his mother. It can't be easy. He couldn't attend the funeral. Hasn't been easy in terms of the COVID year itself. Hats off to him for himself and Guardiola. So Pep and Klopp have lost their mothers over the last year. And it's tough, for anyone to be in that situation. So for me, I've given my full respects to the people, for both of them, for anyone who's lost any loved one during this difficult period. My heart goes out to you guys. Deepest regards and respect to all of you for keeping strong and working through it. So just give him time. Just be patient. Any Liverpool fan out there, he won you the league after 30 years. I know for a fact that's only a handful of you, but please, refrain yourselves from, using any offensive language towards him or social media kind of outrage. Just give him a chance. He's picked you guys up before, and I have full confidence in him, even as a United fan, that the guy is an absolute legend and he will bring you guys back. Maybe not this season. He's got a chance to win the Champions League and keep you guys in the Champions League. But remember, guys, he won you the champions. Sorry, he made you guys the champions in the Premier League, and that's something that you guys should really, really hold high regards for him for. So for me, he hasn't lost it. It's just a bad phase. They've all had bad phases. He's lost 5 games at home. Yes, it's the first time in history, But is it actually a really big deal? You got managers like Ollie who couldn't win at home to save his life in the first part of the season. You've had teams like, barring Man City, I'm not going to go through the whole team, barring Man City who've been consistent away and home. There is no other team in this league this year, for me, that I can say hand on heart that has had a consistent run or have been really good at home. Take Leicester, for example. Brendan Rodgers, everyone gives them praise. Their home form is woeful. They're losing left, right, centre. They lost to Arsenal this weekend, 3-1. So for me, I don't think he's lost it. I think he's part of a really strong group of managers. Fingers crossed everything goes well on the 21st of June and we get our season back to normality or some sort, get the crowd back in next year. And I can assure you, when the Anfield crowd comes in, that is the 12th man, and everyone else should be aware because Liverpool will be back and they'll be back with a bang. So trust in Klopp, guys, and trust in his squad. You never know, next week he might turn around and win 7-0. It's the beauty of the league. Salah might bang a hat-trick or 4 goals or a couple of assists. Mane get a couple of goals, Jota's back. You never know. One player returning can actually change the whole formation or whole kind of like morale or attitude of a team. So keep a lookout. Keep fingers crossed if you're a Liverpool fan, guys, or if you have any Liverpool players in your squad. They may come good and you guys can reap their benefits if people have decided to transfer them out and they become differentials, which is kind of like unthought of about 10 weeks ago. So yeah, keep strong, guys. Next question is Bruno finally out of form? I think I'll answer that already. I think he is out of form. So if I get him up for you guys, owned by around 59.8% of managers, blanked in both games this double game week. But look at the game weeks before. 12, 9, 7, 17. Wow. So he's got 4 goals and 3 assists. Might just be a bad patch. But his next couple of game weeks, he's got City this weekend. West Ham at home. United have been great at home. West Ham have been phenomenal throughout the season. And then they blank in game week 29 because of the FA Cup game. So is it going to be worth managers taking him out for like 3 weeks and then bringing him back for game week 30? Again, it won't be a bad idea if you guys can have the funds and you've got the transfers available to do that, or if you've got a free hit. But for me, he's going to be staying in because I have none of those chips available. And in Bruno, we trust. So that's my answer to that question. What has happened to Sadio Mane? Good question. Even I was asking the same thing, watching him today. He had a glorious chance with that ball that was sent over by Mo Salah in the first half, and he just couldn't bring it under control. But I know for a fact that last season, Sadio Mane in that position would have absolutely taken full advantage of that availability and scored. So his last kind of like any contribution was against Tottenham, and that was in game week 20, so 7 game weeks ago, and he got 15 points for a goal and 2 assists. It's just not good enough. I think they've all fallen off around the same time. And we've gone through Liverpool fixtures. So again, he's only owned by 5.2% of managers. Maybe he might be a differential. Are you going to take a risk on a player who's worth 11.8 mil? Or would you rather just take De Bruyne, who you know is week in, week out consistent? And he's just come back from injury. So Mane, I think he'll tick when the whole team ticks. There's something not right within Liverpool. All the players look frustrated, but however, Jota coming back might actually lift these guys. So keep a look out. And if you've got him in your team, keep him in. Let's see what you can do in the next fixtures against the next 5 fixtures, I think, which are a bit more manageable. And on paper, you'd assume Liverpool should be comfortable, but this season's one of those that the easiest fixtures have actually, on paper, been the most difficult ones. So let's see how we can take it from there and keep faith in Mane. That's all I can say. I personally wouldn't keep him if I started in my squad, but if you want to keep faith with him and you want to have a differential, Mane is your player. Who's the best keeper to bring in for the next couple of game weeks? Martinez. So I answered this question previously as well. So Martinez's next 3 fixtures is Wolves, Newcastle and Tottenham. I know I'm not too sure about the Tottenham game. They're at home, but Tottenham don't really score that many goals. The last time they scored 4 goals was just Burnley, and before that it was a long, long time ago. So even with Tottenham, I'm not too concerned. I think they're all manageable games, so Martinez will be number 1. Let's go to goalkeepers, and number 2 will be, for me, I would say Kasper Schmeichel. So let's look at his next couple of game weeks. He's got no game week in 29 because of FA Cup commitments, but he's got Brighton and Sheffield. Now that, for me, is a good double game week for Schmeichel, and he's only owned by 10% of the managers. Might be a good differential. and he's got over 100 points already. He's only worth 5.5 mil, so he's not in the premium category. He's in like the mid-range. So I think that'll be a really good goalkeeper to bring in for the next 2 game weeks. Or if you really want to consider a third option, then Nick Pope. He's got Arsenal at home and Everton away. Bit more firmer fixtures, but not one of those where, I think that at home against Arsenal they'll be pretty solid. Burnley at Turf Moor, probably the best team at home in terms of defending. And then they got Everton away, who haven't really been in rich goal scoring form. They won 2 of their last games 1-0. So again, Nick Pope might be a really good shout to bring in. He's owned by about 15% of managers, and he's only 5.6 mil. So definitely I would consider him as well. But for me, number 1, it's going to be Martinez, who's in my squad already. When does Zaha return? And if he does, should I bring him into my squad? Let's have a look. Crystal Palace, Wilfie Zaha. He's got lack of match fitness, he says, at 50%. So he could be back any week. Still owned by around 8% of managers. Let's look at their fixtures. Tottenham away, West Brom home. No game week fixture in 29. And then he's got Everton, Chelsea, Southampton. I'd say don't bring him in this game week. See if he gets some minutes under his belt against Tottenham. If he comes in and you see him is a bit lively and he looks like he's getting back into match fitness, then definitely I'd consider bringing him in against West Brom at home in game week 28. But if you still want to take a bit of time and give him a bit of chance to get full fitness, then why not against Everton in game week 30? But he does have a stretch of a few difficult fixtures around that time. He's got Chelsea, Southampton, Leicester, Man City. Yeah, so maybe Zaha might not be the best to bring in. However, let's have a look at someone alternatives. Let's look at Mason Mount, who was the man of the match for me in this game. He's been phenomenal in the last couple of weeks. In the last 5 game weeks, he's got 3 goals. And in the new manager, he looks like he's got a direction. Everton at home, Leeds, followed by West Brom, Crystal Palace, and Brighton at home. So out of Zaha and Mount, for me, I would definitely consider bringing in Mount. This week, I've got Ward-Prowse in already because of the double game week, but I've still got 1.1 mil available. So that's someone who I might consider bringing in, which is going to be Mason Mount with the fixtures that he's got coming in and the kind of current form that he has shown under his new manager, Tuchel. So I think that he will be a very good shout. So for me, that is my reaction for this week, guys. I think that it's been a disappointment because I got 68 points in my first half of the double game week and I was looking good to get my target of 130 points, but a disappointing campaign in this week and the second part of this game week, and I only got 32 points. But I'm still satisfied. The 6 transfers I made and took the 16-point hit was definitely worth it because I got way more points than I would have got with the previous week team that I did have. So be bold, be brave, be differential. That's all I'm going to say. If you have an inkling about any player, follow it, believe in yourself, and just if you don't feel that this player is right for your team, I wouldn't play it. But if you feel that this is a good gut feeling, bring him into your squad, back him all the way, and if it doesn't pay off, no worries. At least you followed your instinct, and there's no regrets. The worst thing you can do is have a doubt, not make the transfer, and then that player performs. That is the worst feeling. I've been there many times, and this is, for me, the best strategy. I'd rather make the change and get a blank than not make the change and that player to perform. So again, do what you feel is right and select your team based on that. Join the league. The code's on the bottom left. I've already got many people who have joined the league and it's quite competitive. So thank you so much, guys, for whoever has joined. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching this video. This is the reaction stream to Game Week 26 Part 2. We've done the reaction. My next video is now going to be tomorrow. So I'm actually doing a premiere for the first time on YouTube. The video will be released, so you guys will be able to see it on your YouTube homepages. It will be scheduled to be aired at 7 o'clock. Now, it's not a live stream, so it's already recorded, but you'll have a facility of a live chat box where I will be, and I'll be answering any questions that you guys do have. So it's going to be the deadline stream for Game Week 27 with me. I'm going to go through all your questions that I've already got. We'll go through it together. I'll be live on there. Let me know how you guys enjoy the stream. Ask any questions that you guys may have in there. I'll repeat again, it's 7 o'clock GMT, so British Standard Time, 7 o'clock, it will be aired on YouTube. So please put the notifications icon on, get a timer set, be there. It'll be great to see you guys part of the stream, being interactive with me, and I'll get to see you guys give me live questions on the stream. So if you enjoyed what you see, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, get me close to those 500 subscribers. I really want to own that PS5, win the bet, and get those 500 subscribers for me to achieve that. And if you've enjoyed it, hit the like button and leave me some comments and feedback. I look forward to any questions. In the meantime, contact me on Twitter, Instagram, or YouTube itself. I will be replying back as my personal account, which is Mosa Malik, and my FPL when I get a chance to do so. If I do get a reply from either of this account, it is myself. So please let me know if I can help with anything. Have a lovely evening. Stay safe. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you again soon, FPL managers. Good luck.